It's complicated. Copyright clarification for the confused. Football fans can recite this in our sleep. This telecast is property of the National Football League. Any other use of this telecast, pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the NFL's written consent is prohibited. So copyright, clearly we've all heard of it, but do we really have a clear understanding of the principles of copyright? In this presentation, we take a close-up look at the history of copyright, the complications of that system, and peek into the future where a creator with attribution may use Creative Commons licenses to overcome these complications. Let's remind ourselves of why creators are interested in copyrighting their work. They want to protect the ownership of the work. They want to prevent any kind of exploitation of their work, and they want to protect their own reputations. During a semester, faculty members will approach me sometimes and ask questions about copyright because it can seem very complex. These discussions will result in confusion, hesitancy, if not outright frustration. So let me see if I can help by providing a little perspective in this area. The year 1710. Authors are dismayed. So many of their literary works are being copied and sold by profiteers. Enter the Statute of Anne, or an act for the encouragement of learning by vesting the copies of printed books in the authors or purchasers of such copies during the times therein mentioned. Catchy for 1710. The Statute of Anne offers an author 14 years of copyright protection. A decent start. The year 1886. Authors remain dismayed. The need exists for a worldwide set of guiding principles for copyright protections. I'd have loved to have been in attendance at the Berne Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Works. They created a series of guidelines way before their time. Imagine in 1886 thinking that cooperative agreements among countries would be so important, especially later on in a global environment like the one we live in today. The Berne Convention set some defaults for copyright. There were no formalities involving copyright protections, no registration, no payments involved. The copyright term was upped to the lifetime of the creator plus 50 years. Also, it provided non-native creators works the same protection they give the works within their own borders, assuming the other country was a signatory of the Berne Convention. So, I say we, the royal we are indebted to those folks because of the principles that say whenever your work is fixed in a tangible medium, you hold the copyright. And with those rights, they are exclusive to the creator in terms of an adaptation or copies or distribution or performances. The creator has exclusive rights. What's that you say? Exceptions? What do you mean? Worldwide variances? There are 176 countries that signed the Berne Convention. There are variances? Oh, okay. This is like one of those math problems that I disliked intensely in school. The train is leaving the station at 2:25 p.m. traveling on a westbound track while another train leaves at 1:24 p.m. traveling eastbound at 80 miles an hour. When will they crash? Oh, okay, take a breath. So we're looking at the rule of territoriality. The law of the country where the work is used applies to that particular use. So if I go overseas as an American citizen, I'm traveling to a different country, I'm using a copyrighted work, what that means is that that particular country where I am using the work, I have to follow their copyright guidelines. So this is, again, worldwide variances, but this would be one example. Now, as a creator, you also need to know what you can and cannot copyright. On this slide, clearly, both sides are pretty equal in terms of length and in terms of specificity. Facts and ideas are not copyrightable, but the expression of those facts and ideas is copyrightable. So most of us are used to knowing about literary works and musical works and so forth. That is copyrightable. But we also need to distinguish between facts and ideas and the expression of those facts and ideas. So that's an important part of copyright as well. So, copyright. Now we know there are no exceptions, right? Oh, another exception? An exemption and a limitation. I get it. Fair use or a fair dealing. No absolutes in copyright, huh? Okay. So exemptions, limitations that allow for things like criticism and parody. Oh, okay. That's the reason that YouTube exists. On a global level, however, there are some works that are publicly available and are not subject to copyright because either they couldn't be copyrighted to start with, or for some reason the copyright has lapsed. This is called the public domain. Again, publicly available materials designated as public domain and so forth. So there are a lot of websites that you see here on the slide, Project Gutenberg and so forth, that will allow you to access materials that are in the public domain. Now, Creative Commons licenses do not impact works in the public domain because Creative Commons works with only copyrightable materials. Okay, the year 2020. Creators are dismayed. Can't this process be easier? Can't somebody make it easier for creators to license their works to contribute to the public good, to provide inspiration to our global conversation? Creative Commons allows creators to license their work with a series of easy to understand licenses to guide the use of the works, the adaptation of the works. And so they work within the existing copyright law. It allows creators to grant permissions, to designate permissions to use the work in certain ways. It's easy and efficient. So check out Creative Commons licensing. Well, we've done it. With the use of these references, we have hopefully provided a painless way to get the general picture of a copyright's past, present, and future. Complicated? Nah. Thank you for watching.